Okay, so in this video we will develop the game called Dots and Boxes, and this game we will develop using the Electron JS. The meaning is that when our game is developed, then it will be kind of our desktop application. So let's proceed. So already I'm inside the folder Electron JS, and also I have taken the command here, command prompt, and also I'm inside the Electron JS folder. So let's create the folder for the project. So it is make directory dot and box, and we'll go inside the dot and box folder, and we'll set up the Electron package here, right? So let's proceed. Make sure you have installed the Node.js in your system. Once you have installed, you can check the version of the node, and then you can install the Electron components here. So let's install the Electron here. So npm node package manager install Electron, and I'll use --save-dev. So it will download the Electron pre-built components, and it will put inside the folder called node underscore module. You can see this folder is created here, and the one JSON also will be created. Now let's initialize the package.json. So we'll use npm init, and this time I don't want to pass the value of package.json in the command interface. I want to create this with the default value. So we'll use -y, and it will skip those value, and it will create the package with the default value, and these are the default values for the package.json. Okay, once we have this package.json created, now we have to create the couple of file. One of the file is under, as you can see the main, we have the index.js. That's the default name. So this file I want with the name as main.js. So let's create this file, touch main.js. So it is created. Now we'll create the for the application window, we want the one HTML file. So let's create that. So touch that is dot and box dot HTML, and to write our logic inside the JavaScript, I will create this separate JavaScript file, and that I'll put inside the different folder. So let's create the folder here, make directory JS, and we'll go inside the JS folder and we'll create the file. So touch dot and box dot JS. So you can see inside this folder I have the dot and box created. So now let's get back to the project folder, and I think all the components what we need, it is ready. Now let's edit this project in the VS Code. So we'll open code space dot. It will open the project in the VS Code. So first of all, I'll edit the package.json. The name is fine, version is correct, and I want the description say dots and boxes came, and the main will be the different, so it will be our main.js, and the dependency is correct, that is Electron which we have added, and the inside the script will replace this test with the start, and the content of this start will be electron dot, and the keywords you can add, author you can change, it is .NET-LittleBoy, and the license guide. So all we have completed the changes of the package.json. Let's move to the HTML file. Here we'll add the HTML tag, and let's take the title as dots and boxes, and we'll go inside the body. Here inside the body, I'll take the div tag. Inside the div, I'll add the canvas element with the ID as canvas. Okay, and we need couple of tag, that is the paragraph tag to display the player score in the game, right? So let's take that P paragraph tag, and the span to display the score of the player. So for that we need ID. ID will be the player 1, and will display the player 1 here. This will be the same for the player 2, and this is player 2. Okay, done. So below this div tab, since our logic, the code for the game will be inside this JS file dot and box, so we have to link this file here. So we'll add the script tag. Type will be the text/JavaScript, and the source will be the .js dash dot and box. So yeah, we'll link this file, and let's add the style tag here, style here to give the background color of the canvas. So canvas, and here the background color, it I want as say the color picker, and say I want the color as on this one, and we will make it as around 200, and this we can make around 150. Okay, this look good. We'll select this color as a background color, and the for by default body will have margin, right? Say around 8 pixels. We'll remove that margin, so we'll make margin as 0 pixel. Okay, so changes of this HTML file is completed. Now let's go to the main.js. Here we'll take the constant electron components which we'll get from the electron module which we have installed. So it will be require electron, and from this electron we'll extract the our module, that is one is app module, one is browser window module, browser window, and this will be the electron. We need couple of module too. Those are constant URL, that will be the required URL. Okay, and then constant path equals to required path. So okay, done. Now we want to create the window. Let's take the variable for that. So this is window object, that is equal to null, and then create the function to create the application window. Okay, so let's take the function create a window, and inside this window we'll say the window object equals to the new browser window, and this will be, we have to pass the properties of the window. So for let width it is say 500 pixel, and the height it will be the say around 550 pixel, and the always on top I want the true, and then if it is minimizable I don't want, so it will make it as false. Then maximizable I don't want, so that is false. Then we have the center, yeah, we want to load the application always on center, that is true. And then we have menu bar, so if you want to hide the default menu bar you can make it as true. Okay, and we have one more resizable. We'll take let's take the another word, that is resizable. So let's take here resizable. So if you want, then you can take this as well as true or false. So I want the, as of now, false. I don't want resizable. Okay, so yeah, we set the properties of this window. Now let's set the path from where the window will be loaded. So let's take window object dot load URL. This will be URL dot format, and for the path module we'll join that. Then with the directory name, then the HTML page. So this is dot and box and dot HTML. This is the file we want to load. Let's add the event, and that is when it is closed. That is closed. When it is closed, then we'll set the window object back to null. So window object equals to null. Now window function is completed. Now let's take the event for the application when our application is ready. So when application is ready, let's call this function to create the window. So create window. Okay, done. So the changes of this main.js is completed. Now let's test if it is working. So I'll go to the terminal, new terminal, and we'll start this. So npm start. When we call in this start command, then what will happen? It will go to the package.json. It will take the start, and this is the electron dot, and then with the dot it will find the what is the main entry JavaScript file. So it is for the main, and inside the main whatever the logic we have written, it will render the application. So when application is ready, then it will create the application window. So let's run this with npm start. So we'll see. Yeah, the application is rendered. So this you can see the canvas is added with the default size. So whatever we did, it is fine. So Now one thing is when we do any changes, you can see, like suppose I want to change this thing, then every time I have to close this app and then I have to restart this. So I don't want that. So instead of what I can do is I can download the Electron reload components, and then we can it will give the live preview when we do any changes inside our .NET HTML file or the custom JavaScript file. It will give the live preview to me. So let's do that. So we'll go to our package here. Let's close this and go to the folder here, and let's install that. So install npm install, and that is Electron reload. So it will take a couple of minutes based on the internet connection. So when it is completed, now we have to add some piece of code in the main.js, and just below this you can add the required, and it is Electron reload. Now we have reload module here, and it will be reload with the directory name. And let's take the object, we'll set the Electron path, so path dot join. So make sure you have exported the path, you have taken the path module from the Electron, right? Then we'll join with the directory name, comma, then the folder that will be the node underscore modules. And with that we have the inside that we have the another folder that is bin, so dot bin, and then inside the bin we'll have the Electron. So we reload this. So yeah, it is completed. So now let's start this and we'll check if it is working. Okay, we'll go to the HTML, and now let's change this from 2 to 3. Let's save. Yeah, it is working fine. You can see when I changed 3 to 2 to 3, it is changed. Now we're coming back again back to 2. It is working fine. So now the live preview is working fine. So the setup is done, and now we'll do the we'll do the coding for our game. So we'll go to this JavaScript dot and box.js, and we need some constant variable, that is canvas, that will be the document dot get element id, that is canvas, and we need the constant for the context, that is to draw the game. So that is context equal to canvas dot get context, that will be the 2D. Okay, and then we need the width, that will be the window dot inner width, and the height equals to window dot inner height. And then we need a few game variable. One of it is like when we you can see in the game we have the number of boxes placed, right? This was the number of circle a small place. So this is the nothing but the grid, that is, it is n by n. So let's take that grid size. So we'll take the grid size here. So grid size equals to, say I want 8 by 8, and then when we have grid size as 8, then the cell size will be one box size will be around equals to the total width divided by the grid size. Okay, done. Let's set up the canvas width and height. Canvas dot width equals to the width, and the canvas dot height equals to the height. So you can see when I change, then the width of the height of the canvas is changed. But still you can see I don't have the horizontal scroll, because inside the this style we have make the margin as 0. That is why the horizontal margin is removed, but we have the vertical scroll, because the total height of the document is exceeding the this window height, right? So what we'll do, let's remove this some height from this canvas height. So say I want around 50. So still we have this some horizontal vertical scroll. So what I'll do, this is up and top and bottom, this right up and down. So I want in the inside the line. So for that, let's go to the HTML tag here, and let's do the changing. So we'll have the style float, that is equal to left, and then the margin, say I want margin I want 10 pixel. Okay, and with this player 2 also we'll do the same style, float equals to the left, and then margin I want 10 pixel. So done. Now you can see I don't have the vertical scroll bar, it is removed, and the player 1 and player 2 is displaying fine. So it is correct. So now let's proceed further. Where first of all we have to draw the cells on this canvas, right? So let's take that function. So function here, function draw the circles. Okay, so function draw circle. Okay, circles. And what we'll do for the number of rows and number of column, we have to loop, right? So let's take for let I equals to the 0 and I is less than grid size -1 and I plus plus, and then let j equals to 0 for let j equals to 0, j is less than grid size -1 and j plus plus, and then we'll draw the circle. So draw circle. We'll call this function. So we'll have the x and y position we'll pass to draw the circle. So let's take the draw circle function here. So function draw circle. Okay, and then that is function draw circle, and we'll take the x and y position and we'll draw that. So context dot begin path and context dot this will be the fill, so fill style, and that I want say hash 1 2 3 4 5 6, and the context dot that is the since it will be the circle, so it will be the arc function at then x and y, then radius say I want cell size divided by the 10 and 10, then the start angle 0 and angle 2 times math dot pi. Okay, then we'll fill that context dot fill, then we'll close the context, close the what we have started. So context dot close path. Yeah, so done. Now here we have to pass the position. So we'll not start the dot from here. We will give some margin top, bottom, left and right. So we'll start the position from 1 to the right. So let's do that. So we'll take here cell size times the I plus 1, and then we will take the cell size times the j plus 1. Okay, now let's call this function. So before this calling, let's take the function loop. So let's call loop function. Okay, so function game loop. Okay, and inside this first we will clear the whatever drawing we are doing. So it is clear rect, and it will be the 0 comma 0 and then canvas dot width and the canvas dot height. Okay, and let's call this function. So that is draw circles, and then we'll use the request animation frame. The callback function will be the game loop, and let's call this function below once. So game loop. So let's check if it is drawing. Let's save. Yeah, so game loop, this is not the circle, should be the circle. Fine, so you can see, yeah, the grid has been drawn. Okay, and now next thing is when we move the mouse on this canvas, then this box side has to be highlighted and then we can select, right? So let's do that. So let's add the event here, that is mouse move event. So let's canvas dot add event listener, that will be the mouse move, will be moves, and the function, the callback function will be the mouse move underscore handler, and we'll create this function. And let's create this function here and the top of this. Mouse move handler. Okay, so function, the mouse move handler, it will take the event as E, and then we'll take the X position of the mouse. So X equals to the E dot client X, and then Y position will be E dot client Y, and let's call the function called highlight side, and we'll pass the X and Y, and then let's create the function here. Function function highlight side. So function highlight side, it will take the x and y. Okay, so inside the highlight function, what it will do is we have to loop through all the boxes, right? And let's take the what we'll do, we'll take the array of box, and inside that array we'll assign all these boxes. So let's take the variable for that. Okay, so these are the game variables. Okay, so it is var, that is box array. Okay, and let's take the function to initialize the game. Function initialize the game. Okay, so function initialize game, and what we'll do, first box we have to initialize, so that will be the array. And let's take the loop for let I equals to 0 and I is less than the grid size -1 I plus. For that, for the first array, let's initialize the I equals to the another array, and then for let j equals to 0, j is less than the grid size -1 and j plus, and then box array of I and then j. So now it is giving the two-dimensional array, right? That will equal to the box, some object we have to initialize. So what we'll do, let's get the function for this box. So here below, so function box, and it will take the x, y position and the size of the box. And let's set up these properties. This dot x equal to x, this dot y equals to the y, and this dot width will be equals to the size, and this dot height will be equals to the size. And what we'll do, for each box we'll initialize the top, left, right and bottom sides. So let's do that. So this dot top will be equals to the y, it will be the y. This dot left will be equals to the x, and this dot right will be equals to the x plus the size, and this dot bottom equals to the y plus size. Okay, and when we'll move the mouse on the canvas, then we have the highlight, we have to highlight this side. So for that we'll take the property here, this dot highlight to null. So this will be the column. Okay, yeah, so we did. So let's create the array of object of this inside the box array. So this x will be the cell size times the I plus 1, and the y position will be the cell size times the j plus 1, and then the size will be the cell size. So let's initialize this, call this initialize function at the top only. So initialize this, we'll call this once. Okay, so done. So when we'll move the mouse, then we have to highlight this one, right? This side. So what we will do is, let's take the highlight function here inside this, and before that we will make sure that the mouse cursor, it belongs to any of the box. So let's take that one. So this dot is mouse inside the box, and that will be the function. Okay, and it will take the x and y position. Okay, so this will be the mouse. Okay, so it will return true or false. So let's take that one, return, and then x should be greater than this dot left, and then x should be less than this dot right, and y should be greater than this dot top, and y should be less than this dot bottom. So we can make is equal to here, and then this x is greater than equal to this dot left. Okay, and now let's create the highlight function for this box. So this dot highlight side equals to the function, and this will be x and y. Okay, and let's how should you highlight is uh, first it will take the closest point to the mouse cursor, right, of the box side, then it will draw. So let's check that one. Currently grid is not drawing, so there is some problem. Let's what we'll do, we'll go to the main.js. Let's enable the menu bar so that we can debug the application. So make it as false, and it will restart this. So we have to restart this again. We have menu, default menu. Let's debug and we'll see if we have any error. Yeah, I think we have. It's console, and this is cell size is not a function, so we don't have inside the initialize game. Yeah, this is not correct. Because of that, it is not drawing. So inside the initialize game dot and box, we have to not, yeah, it's not a function, so it is multiple, yeah, it is working fine. Okay, so when we move this mouse, then this mouse has to be close to any of the side of this box, right? Then it will be highlighted. So let's do that inside the highlight function. So let's take the variable let d top, that is equal to the difference between the mouse y position and the top y position of the side. So box of top box side. Okay, so that then y minus this dot top, and then the left equals to x minus this dot left, then the right equals to this dot right minus x, and the bottom, that is equals to this dot bottom minus y. Okay, now let's find the minimum distance. So minimum distance, and that will be equals to the math dot minimum from the top, then the left, the right, and the bottom. And based on this minimum distance, we will set which side is to be highlighted. So let's take the if condition. If distance minimum distance is equals to the top, and the top side is not selected, then only we will highlight. If it is already selected, then no need to highlight, right? So let's take the properties for that here. So this dot side top, that will be equals to the object, and for the all side it should be the owner which player has selected it. So the owner equal to null, and we'll set is selected to false. So this should be the common for all the sides. So let's copy this portion and let's set for all the sides. So this dot side left equals to this, and this dot side right equals to the same, and this dot side bottom, that will equal to the same. And now we'll check for this side. So this dot side, since it is top, the side top then is selected, should be false, so equals to here false, it will give the true. If the side is not selected, then this dot highlight should be equals to the our side. So how we determine this side? Let's take the object of that. So here let's take the box sides, and that will be the object, and we'll initialize the property. So box for the bottom we'll make it as 0, for the left we'll make it as 1, and for the right we'll make it as 2, and for the right we'll make it 2, and for the top we'll make it 3. Okay, and based on the box side we'll set the highlight. So box side equal to box sides, so highlight will be the box side dot top. We'll highlight the top side. Then same thing we'll do for the other sides. Let's copy this. Okay, let's edit. The top is done. Then for the left, and the side left is selected, Okay, and then the highlighted will be the left side. For the right is selected, and the selected right is right is not selected, then the highlight will be the right side. Okay, and then for the same to the bottom, then side bottom is not selected, then the highlight will be the bottom. Okay, this is completed. Okay, once we have the, let's return this highlighted side. This dot highlight side will return this. So return. So this return, why we are doing, because later on we will use this return to select that side. So return from this. So now once we have highlighted side, let's draw that. So for that, let's create the function inside the box. This dot draw box sides equals to the function. Okay, and it will check if we don't have this dot highlight. If we have highlight, means we don't have highlight as null, then we will draw this. So this dot draw box side, and this will take the side and the color of the player which we are doing. So let's create this function inside this. So this dot draw box side, this function, and we'll take this side and the color, side color, you can see side color. Okay, and this will be the function. So we'll go here, it will equal to the function. Okay, and let's draw this. So we'll take the switch statement, and with the switch we'll make the it will be based on the side, which side we are doing. So we'll take the case when the box sides, if it is top, then we'll draw the top sides. And to draw this, we have to stroke the one line here, right? When we move, then this is nothing but the line, side is nothing but the line. So we have to draw the line. So create the draw line function here. So let's create this draw line function at the bottom. So this function we have to create. So we, along with the we have the draw circle, we'll create here. So function draw line. So let's create the function draw line. It will take the x1 position, y1 position, and x2 position, y2 position, and the color of the side. And let's draw this. So context dot begin path, and the context dot it will be the stroke, so stroke style. It will be the color what we have passed, and the context dot line width, how thicker the line you want, line width. So it will be, say, the cell size divided by 12, and the context dot move to will move the point x1 y1, and then context dot line to, it will be x2 and y2, and then finally we'll call the stroke, context dot stroke to draw the line, and then context dot close path. Okay, done. So we'll call this function inside the box draw side, and you can see it is expecting these sides, okay, x and y. So when it is top, then it should be the left top and right top, right? So it should be this dot left and this dot top and this dot right, this dot top, and the color will be the side color what we have passed. So let's repeat the same thing for the all these sides. So we have to break here. So give the break statement, and then we'll close this. Then we'll do the same thing for the all these sides, and let me format this. Okay, when it is right, then the for the drawing the right side. So let's take the left first. Drawing the left side, then it should be left top and left bottom, right? So left top and left bottom, left bottom. Okay, and then for the right, then it should be the right top and right bottom. So right top and right bottom. And for the bottom side, should be the left bottom, right bottom. So left bottom and the right bottom. Okay, so done. The side has been drawn. So let's go to this function and we'll pass this side. So this side should be our highlight, this dot highlight. So whichever side we want to highlight, so we'll pass that one. But for the color, what we'll do, based on the two player, we have the different colors, right? So let's take that function to get the different color. So we'll create the function here below the draw line, function to get the player color. So function, it is get player color, and it will pass the player and the for the when player will play, then it can when it will move, then it will have the light color for the highlight and the dark color for the selected one, right, when the side is selected. So let's take is light as a one parameter to draw the left highlight means light color or the dark color for the selected side. So let's take if condition, if player 1, so player, so player, then will return the based on the is light. So let's take the light color. So we'll go to the canvas file here, and I'll take the color hash, and that will give me the color picker. And from this, for the player 1, I want the dark color as a red, and for the selector for the red, and for the light, say I want 150, so it will give no. So here I can change, so 150, no, still it is 100, so make it as 50, otherwise say 100. Yeah, this is little bit red, so red, and then you can make it as 0. So this I want as a highlight color, and the complete red as a dark color for the player 1. So let's do that. So we'll copy this and we'll set this as a return. We'll go dot and box here, and we'll return this color as a dark, and the highlight color will be the hash ff0000. Okay, and let's take the else statement, and inside this we'll return is light, and for the second color, second player color, I want the highlight color and the light color. So let's take the color picker, and this is the dark blue. This I want for the selected one, and for the highlight one I want say 150. Yeah, this is highlighted one, 150. So let's take this one. This will be the highlight color for the second player. So, and we'll remove this one. So we'll go here, and inside the return we'll say this one, and the for the highlight we'll take the hash f0000ff. That will be the dark color for the selected side. Okay, we got it. So we'll call this function inside the highlight function of the box. So you can have when it is highlight, so get color, and whichever the player is playing now. So is player so we don't have the player variable declare, right? So let's go and declare the player variable here. So here let's take the is player 1 turn, and we'll initialize when to initialize the I will initialize this player 1 turn to the initialize game function, and it is player 1 turn equals to the math dot random, and it will be if it is greater than 0.5, then I want false, else I want true. Okay, and based on this which current player is playing, we'll get the color inside the highlight function. So is player 1 turn, then since it is highlight, then it should be true. So we want the light color only, so it will be true. Okay, so it is done. Let's draw these sides. Okay, so to draw these sides we have to create the function here below, and that function we will call inside the loop function, so that when we will move the mouse, then it will be highlighted. So let's create this function. So function draw box, and the function draw box, and here we'll go through all the sides of the all the number of boxes, right? So let I equals to 0, I is less than the grid size -1, and I plus plus, and then for let j equals to 0, j is less than the grid size -1, and j plus plus. And for all these sides, so it is box array of I and j, we will draw these sides. and this function drawBox function will call inside the loop here. Okay, let's go to the mouse move function we have created if everything is fine. So yeah, you can see we have mouse move handler. Inside this we are calling the side function, and we have to highlight now, right? So let's loop through all the box array, right? So let I equals to the 0, I is less than grid size -1, and I plus plus, and then for let j equals to 0, j is less than the grid size -1, and j plus plus. And here we have the box array, and for all the box array I and j, we will check if our mouse is inside this box, and this will take the x and y position. So this is nothing but the if condition. So we'll take the if, means it will return true or false for the mouse if it is belongs to the particular box. So we'll take if it is true, then we will highlight that side which is closest to the mouse. So it is box array of I and then j dot highlight side. So we'll make sure we have the correct function we have called. Let's go here and check. Highlight, we'll go here. So inside the mouse, this is the function, and in this function is expecting the x and y position, right? So we'll call inside the loop, we'll pass the x and y position, x and y. Let's save this. Let's check if we have some error. Yeah, we do have. So we'll go to the console. We have this mouse box is undefined. Is mouse inside the box. So inside the box we have, yeah, this is the function here, right? So this function, and we'll go to the all the box array. Let's save. Yeah, it is perfect. Close this, reload this. Still we have error. Let's check. The cannot read the property is mouse inside the box. So I of x and y will go to the box function. We'll check this dot equal to the function. It will return is mouse inside the box, then x and y position, then it is returning true and false. Okay, let's call this function for all these sides. So I equal to 0, I less than grid, and I plus plus, then I equal to j equal to 0 plus 1. If the box array of ij is mouse inside the box, that is true. If x and y, call this respecting x and y. Okay, when it is true, then we'll highlight this side. So box array, and it will return that, right? So let side equals to the highlight side. So we have still error. We'll check. Box array. Let's give the breakpoint and we reload this. And inside the console, we'll check if we have box array. It is initialized. That is fine. Yeah, it is not defined. So box is not defined. That is why. So let's take the loop function here, and then for all the box I and j equal to new box of cell of I comma j, then cell size set the box will put x and I and j correct cell size, then equal to correct, this is j equal to grid size -1, j plus plus, then box of array of I j equal to the, this should be the not box, it could be the new box. That is my mistake. So now if you reload and if you go to the console and if you check the box array, we'll see all the elements are, yeah, I think it is perfectly placed. So let's close this and reload this. Okay, you can see now the highlight is working fine. Okay, so now what we will do, you can see the still we have the previous highlights. When we are moving the mouse, we'll clear that previous highlights. We'll go to the our highlight function below. Inside this highlight function, let's clear the previous highlights. So clear the previous highlights. Okay, so we'll look for all the boxes. So let I equals to 0, I is less than the grid size minus 1, and I plus plus, and for let j equals to 0, j is less than the grid size minus 1, and j plus plus, and we'll clear that. So we have box array of I and j, and dot we have highlight property that will set back to null. And let's reload and check. Yeah, it is working fine, but we have one thing here. You can see when you are moving to the right side of this canvas, then we have highlight, right? We don't want this. This is happening because we have taken the highlight size minus 1, so we have to take this as minus 2 and this also as minus 2. Let's save. Now you can see we don't have the highlight on the right side and left side and top, and inside the grid it is highlighting. Okay, so this is achieved. Now next task is when we click the mouse, then the particular nearby side it has to be selected, right? So let's create the function for that. First we will take the event as a click. So let's do that. Mouse, that will be the mouse click event. So canvas dot add event listener, that will be the click. Okay, and then function will be the click handler. Okay, and copy this, and we'll create the function for this. So wherever we have mouse move here, we'll click that, we'll create that. So mouse click handler. So function mouse click handler, it will take the event as e, and inside this we will call the function called select side. Okay, and let's create this function select side. So function select side. Okay, so how we will select is you can see when we are moving the mouse on the canvas, then our mouse belongs to the one particular box, and with that box we can select, right? So let's take this box into the one array, and then from that box we will highlight that, we'll select that. Okay, so let's take the variable here, that is current box. Okay, and let's initialize that to as array when we initialize the game. So current box equals to the array, and when it will be set is when we have the highlight, right? So you can see when this highlight is returning the current highlight side, right? And this is being called inside the highlight function. This is here, and this side is nothing but return highlight size. We'll check if it is side is not equals to the null, then we'll put that the particular index number, row and column number to this current box. So current box dot push, that will be the object as a row equals to the current I and the column equal to the current j. Okay, so now inside our this select function, this is select side, we'll check if the current box dot length, if we don't have any object inside that, then if it is 0, then we will not select this side, so it is returned. If we have, then we'll check for a later box of current box, and for the current selected box we'll draw that. So if we'll do the we have the box array of we have box dot row, and then box dot column, and that we will select the select box side. So we'll create this function. So let's create this function inside the box function. So we have this is the box function. Below the draw side we'll create the function here. So this dot create box side equals to the function, and select both side, what it will do is first it will check if we have already any highlight. Okay, if we don't have highlight, then it will not select. So let's check that one. So if this dot highlight, if it is equals to the null, then we'll just return from this. We will return. If we have, then it is totally based on the which side we have it is highlighted. So let's take the switch statement for this switch, and this is this dot highlight, and then inside this we'll take the case, and if it is case is a box side dot, if it is top, our highlight side is top, then we have to highlight we have to select the top side, right? So what we'll do, we will we'll do this dot side top dot the owner. The first we'll say the owner, which is the current player, right, is player 110, and then this dot side top dot is selected to true, means this side is selected, and then we'll break. Same thing we have to repeat for the all the sides. So let's copy this. Okay, and let me format the document. Okay, now top we have done. Let's take the left, and for the left, if it is left, then we have to say the left owner and the left selected. When it is right, then right, and then right owner is selected and right is also selected. And then for the bottom, then the bottom owner will be selected and the bottom side is also selected. So it is done. Once it is completed, let's set it back to null. So this dot highlight equals to the null. Okay, and when it is selected, for the selected side we have to draw, right, when we move the mouse. So let's inside the draw sides here, we'll check if this dot, if all the sides will check if this dot side top is selected, then for top we will draw. So this dot draw side, you can see it is asking the which side we have to draw. So this will be the box sides dot top we will draw, and the color will be based on the get color, and this color is nothing but the who has selected, which owner has selected this side, right? So it will be the this dot side top dot owner. Okay, done. So this should be same for all the sides. So let's copy. Okay, and then when it is left is selected, then the box side we have to select the left, we have to draw the left, and the color will be the owner of the left side who has selected. Then when it is right, then the right side we have to draw, and the color will be the owner of the right side. And then when it is bottom, then it is bottom, and the color will be the owner of the bottom side. Okay, yeah, we did. So let's check if it is working fine. So we'll go inside our select side function here. Once we have selected, let's set this back current box to empty array, and this we can do where after our side is selected here, right? So we can do here when we are moving the mouse. So current box equals to the array, we'll initialize the array. Now let's check that. So yeah, it's working, it's moving. Now let's set, yeah, it is selected with the green dark blue. Okay, you can selecting. Okay, fine, all this side is selecting, but when we are selecting, then it is not moving from one player to the another player, right? So what we'll do, we'll go to the select function here, and let's change the player here. So is player 1 turn equals to the inverse of is player 1 turn. Okay, now let's check red blue, yeah, working fine. But we have one thing here, right? You can see when we are it is already selected, but when we are moving the mouse closer to this side, then this is being highlighted, right, which is not correct. So this is due to the neighbor is not aware of that this side has been selected. So what we'll do, let's do that. Let's take the neighbor side and then we'll remove this highlight. So inside the highlight function here, let's take the couple of variables. So first one will take the let the rows, that will be equals to the box array of dot length, and then let columns, that will be equal to the box array of 0 dot length. Okay, and let's take the sum of variable here. So let current row, that will be equals to the I, then the column, current column, that will be equals to the j, and the highlight side, and then the is neighbor, and that I want as true initially. Okay, and let's take the if condition. If the side which is selected, right, the side which is it is coming here in the return, if it is equals to the box size dot left, and our j is greater than 0, in this case we will set the row equals to the I minus 1, and then highlight side will be equals to the box side dot right. Okay, so same thing we will do for all these sides. Let's copy, else it will be is neighbor equals to false. Then in this case we don't have neighbor. So okay, so let's edit this one. So when left is done, then when we have right side, then j should be less than the number of columns we got, right? So columns minus 1. In this case the I will be equals, row will be equal to I plus 1, and the highlighted side will be the dot left. Okay, and then for the case for the top, if it is dot top, then this will be I will be greater than 0, and this column will be equals to the j minus 1, and then highlight side will equal to the highlight box size dot top. Sorry, this will be bottom. When we have top, then it should be the bottom. Okay, and then when it is for the bottom, and in this case I should be less than the number of rows minus 1. Then the column will be equals to the j plus 1. Okay, and then this will be the highlighted side will be the top now. Okay, so it is done. So let's check one more time. When our side is equal to left and j is greater than 0, then row equal to I minus 1, then highlight side equal to right, correct. When it is right side selected, then column equal j should be minus 1, and then next highlighted side with the left side, that is fine, I plus 1, and this will be the top, I equals greater than 0, then the column will be j minus 1, and then highlight side will be equals to the bottom. Fine, for the bottom the highlight side will be the top, and should be row minus 1 and column to j plus 1. So this is fine. So let's check if is neighbor is true. Then we'll first what we for the box array for a particular row and column, we'll make that is highlight to the current highlight what we got with this condition, and inside the current box dot will push the highlight one, so it will be the row equals to the row which we got, and the column will be equals to the column. So now let's check if it is working fine. So selected, we don't have highlight, right? And we are setting the right side. Yeah, we don't have highlight. We have some glitches. We'll check if box side equal to side dot left and box equal to length, then column, yeah, this is the column side. So here we didn't do this one, so this should be the not the row minus 1, this should be the row, this should be the columns. So columns this should be the column, not the column. So we are initializing. So this should be row and column. Then we are taking the columns here, and for the row column we are setting here, and yeah, now looks fine. Let's check. Selected, no highlights. Selected, no highlights. Selected, no highlights. Selected, no highlights. So this is working fine. No highlights for the right side, no highlights for the top, no highlights for the right side, no highlights. So this is working fine. So yeah, okay, done. So now our next task is when all the four sides of the box is selected, then we will fill that with that particular player which is playing, right? And then that player will get the chance to play the next to select the next side. So okay, so what we'll do, we'll go to our box function, and inside the box function we'll add the couple of property, and one is this dot the number of side selected. Initially it will be the 0, and who is the owner of the current box? So this is the owner, that will be the null. And what we'll do inside the when we are selecting the side, inside this select box side, here we'll increment the side number of side selected, right? So this dot number of side selected to will increment by 1, and we'll check if this dot number of sides selected equals to the 4. When all the sides are selected, then this dot owner will be equal to the is player which is currently playing, and then we'll return the true. Return true. If not, then we'll return false. Return false. False. Okay. And what we'll do with this component, so we'll go to our select side function of the mouse click. We have select side function here, right? So this is nothing but the select side. Now it is returning true or false for me. This select box side is returning the true or false based on the number of sides selected. So we'll use this one, and here we'll put the if condition. If it is true, then let's take the variable here. Let's take the fill box. Is fill box, is box filled, we can say filled to true, false as of now. Initially it will be false, and when it is filled, when this is statement is true, means all these sides has been selected, then this will be the true. So is box filled equals to true. Okay, and then to change the player condition, we'll check if is box filled. If it is not filled, then only will the change the from one player to another player, right? And so we'll call this statement inside that. Okay, done. And we'll draw the fill now. So to do that, let's add the another function inside this box function here, and let's call this function as this dot fill box. That will be the function, and it will be doing for all the box, and we'll check if the box is having the owner. If it is if the box is not having owner, then we'll not fill that. So this dot owner, if it is equals to null, then we'll return. Okay, if it is having the owner, then we'll fill that, right? So let's call the fill. So context dot begin path, and the context dot fill color, and this fill style, and the fill style will be the who is the owner of that current box, right? That color we have to fill. So it will be the get color, get player color, right? Get player color, and that will be the this dot owner, and then if it is true or hide, so I want with the false, I want the dark color. Okay, and then context dot fill, so fill rectangle, and then this will be the position. So we want this dot x, this dot x, and when we'll take the this dot x, then it will fill the complete box. So what we'll do, let's give some margin here, so that will be box inside this box, a small box for a particular color inside this box. So we'll take some margin here with the x position. So x will be equals to the cell size divided by say 10. Okay, and then this dot y plus cell size divided by 10, and the y on the width will be this dot width minus 2 times this cell size 2 times cell size divided by 10, and the height will be this dot h minus 2 times the cell size divided by 10. Okay, and then context dot close path. You can see now. So this is the component. So fill dot rectangle cell size at this dot x plus cell size by 10, this dot y plus cell size by 10, this dot width minus 2 times cell size by 10, this dot height minus 2 times cell size by 10. Okay, and then we'll close this. So let's call this function in the loop. We have the drawBox function, right? See below here, drawBox. Inside that we'll call this. So box array of all the box I and j, and we'll call this fill. Okay, done. So let's check if it is working. You can say selected. So selected. Yeah, this is filled with this color. Selected, and now blue has filled. Now red has filled. So it is working fine. This is filling fine. But now what we'll do, when the particular color is filled, then inside the here player information will display that player 1 has filled how many box, and this player 2 has filled how many box. So for that, what I'll do, I'll take the one player object here at the top along with the global variables here, and this is player equals to the object, and player 1 score, that will be equals to, that will be 0 as of now, and then player 2 score, that will be 0. Okay, and we'll use this player object inside the select function. So we have select box side, and here we are giving, right? So we'll check which player is playing. So is player 1 turn, means it is player 1, right? When it is 2, so then player 1 score will be incremented, and else then the player 2 score will be incremented. Player 2 score plus plus, and we'll display this score inside the loop function we have below, we are calling, right? So we'll get that this ID of this span tag we have taken, right? This one, and we'll display inside that. So let's take the document dot get element by ID, and it is player 1 dot player 1, and inside this inner HTML, that will be equal to the player 1 dot player 1 score, and this will be the same for the player 2. Let's copy and let's save, and this will be the player 2 and player 2 score. So let's check if it is working fine. Now you can see the initial score of the player 1 and 2 is 0 0, and then when you are selected, now you can see the blue got 1 score. Now we'll move here. Now red got another score. So now now we don't want this menu bar, right, which will come with the default. So for that, we'll go to the main.js, and we can make this as false. So this is false, so we'll make it as true, and we'll see when we'll reload the game again. Yeah, this is fine. Now one more thing is, if you don't want this boxes and without frame, then you can do that too. So we have the one property here called frame, and if that is true, so you can see when you reload this, we will not have any close thing. It will be the complete frame. So this should be the false, I believe. So frame false. Okay, let's save and reload this. Yeah, you can see this game is rendered at the center, and this is working as expected. So player 1 score. So this is the game, guys, and thank you for watching this video.